Welcome to the Anything Else podcast. Hey.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What?
Okay.
Want to go?
I guess we're... Okay, so is there a power vacuum now with that all?
It's a hell of a false start.
I thought we decided that I was going to be doing that now. Now there's a power struggle?
You didn't do it before, so
I did do it on the last special.
Yeah, but that was special, though. It
Well,
wasn't
here,
me,
I'll
is
let
it?
you do it. I'll let you do it. It is your
Welcome
birthday.
to the it is my birthday. Welcome to the Anything Else podcast. I'm your host, Dallas Outsyder.
You're the producer. Rich.
I'm the producer, host, editor.
Getting big for your britches over here, Dallas Outsider.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Alex Lintz, and over here we've got our guest today, Mr. Simon Jasieniuk.
Tis I. Good to see you guys. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. It's
Doing
been a
great.
while.
Yeah, it has been. Well, I think last time was either, well, it was probably out somewhere. Capitol or
Green Room.
Green Room. That's right. It was definitely the Green
That's
Room because
right.
it was for your show.
It was, yeah.
That's right. Which was great, by the way.
Yeah.
Loving the new songs.
Man. Oh, thanks.
The yeah, feel good, sound good, good melodies. I'm a melody guy. I'm always I love a good melody, and
why I
your
like
songs
you.
have that. So it's great. It's awesome. Yeah.
Perfect. Do you want to give the audience introduce yourself musically?
Do you just want the segment sheet? Are you just are you the
Yeah, how do
captain
we do
now?
this? I did some research. I checked up on a couple things, but yeah,
What's
you guys
your
got to
favorite
keep me...
episode of any that you've seen of ours? I'm always curious.
Well, as we just mentioned at the end of the last little bit there, Adam Beidel is he's
That's
my
the
guy.
gold standard episode.
He's my guy. Yeah, he's great. It's been a little while since I've seen it, but I think as soon as that came out, I watched it and it was awesome. So I think he's kind of my reference point. Got to channel the Adam Beidel energy on like film and mic and animated, eccentric, crazy stuff. So we're trying to do that today. But yeah, my name is Simon Jasieniuk. I'm a musician, producer, photographer, videographer, kind of, sort of, all that stuff. Beez, Neez recording is me. On stage, I play with Caitlin Lehner. I play guitar for her and a little bit for Evan Baxter. I never know how detailed to get because it could kind of keep going on, but
Yeah, right.
let's leave it there probably. But
His studio's
yeah.
the shit, and he's
The shit.
amazing at what he does. So
thank
Yeah.
you. Alex.
that's all you really need to know about the man.
That's right. Follow me on socials at Beez Neez Recording.
Perfect. Well, Simon, we love you. We love what you do.
Pull in. Let's get it.
But
Let's
for
go.
God's sakes, can you talk about anything
Is
else?
that how I sound?
You know what? This
I
is
felt
so
so
funny
nasally.
because yes, we can talk about something else, but it's a tough one to find something else. My whole life revolves around music, so it's kind of crazy. But I think the best thing to talk about is we got to kind of turn the clocks back about 15 years to actually get into something significant. I think the most interesting thing about me that's not music
Tamagotchi.
is no. I when I was 14 years old, I traveled around the world with my family.
Okay.
And that's kind of a pretty cool, crazy thing. Other than that, like I don't, because I'm trying to think. Okay, so I like movies, but I don't know enough to talk about that. I like photography and videography, but again, probably not enough to like really get into that. There's lots of little things, but it's hard to say.
Well, let me ask you, Alex. When he said 15 years ago, what year came up to you in your mind when he said that?
Yeah, the weird thing is I thought like 2005. That's weird.
Correct.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so add 3, and then we're back. Thank you, COVID. Yeah, 2008, 2009.
But traveling's good though. That's a good one.
It is good.
We haven't had anybody talk about traveling.
Yeah. I see, and it's funny too, because you know, if I was to be in a conversation, it's like, oh, what do you like to do? Traveling's not going to be something that I say,
Yeah.
but I do like it, and I think it's definitely been something that kind of changed the way that I just live life and do everything, just kind of seeing things from a different perspective now. So it's kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know where to go from that. But I think it was just the biggest thing is, yeah, it just puts everything in perspective and kind of keeps the, like, you know, first world problems kind of thing in perspective. Hey, so even in the music context, which we're definitely not going to talk about, you know, it's like, oh, I need another cable. It's fine. It's not a big
It'll
deal.
sort
Like
itself out.
you can make it happen without it, you know. So
What was the
any of that
impetus
kind of
for
stuff.
traveling around the world though?
There you go. Okay. That I should have asked that word because I don't even know if I fully understand. In context, I get that. Define that word so that I make sure that I impetus.
Oh,
Yeah.
for those who are listening on YouTube and everything, we did a couple segments on our Patreon.
We do a
which,
segment where Dallas can't define words.
Yes. And I guess this is our moment to talk about that. We're having a Patreon once this video, once this episode comes out. So
Yeah.
be sure to subscribe to our Patreon and for extra content.
What do you think impetus means, Dallas?
Impetus, I'll tell you on the next Patreon.
I mean, it seems like what was the reason or spark or why did that happen?
Pretty much, I believe,
So,
yeah.
my parents met, it would have been 15 or 16 years prior. They were both ballroom dance instructors.
Oh,
And yeah, it's a funny way to meet. Do I know how to dance? Not really. Enough that I can kind of two-step now. But anyway, they met. My dad had plans to go on a big world trip himself. And at the time, he had met my mom after already kind of planning everything. And long story short, they ended up going together on this trip. And they had such a good time and did so many amazing things. They said if we ever have if we ever have kids later in life, we should try to take them on a similar type of trip. So they did. And around the world we went. So we left. I was 14 years old. I basically, I had just had a birthday in August, and we left about two weeks after that, 2.5 weeks. And then we were gone the whole year and came back 3 days before my birthday. So I've never actually had a birthday outside of the country, despite being gone for so long. But that was kind of the spark to that. So yeah, fully, my parents decided that and kind of made the plan and did everything. Of course, when you're 14, you don't know how to plan or do anything. So it was very much like an educational experience. And like on their first trip, they got to, I think the coolest thing, two things, they got engaged at the top of Mount Fuji in Japan, which is wild.
Yeah.
And in Calcutta, India, they got to work with Mother Teresa
No way, that's
for
wicked.
like a week or 10 days at her home for the dying, which is so crazy to think. Because I grew up learning about Mother Teresa in school and all that kind of stuff.
Textbooks
So
and stuff, yeah.
yeah, so it's like, but they have a little statue that she gave and blessed, kind of, because it was after they had gotten engaged before they were married. So she gave this little statue of Mary to my parents and blessed it and all this kind of stuff. So it's just a really cool thing to be like, my parents actually got to know and work with Mother Teresa, as well as all these other crazy things that they got to experience. So I think, obviously that wasn't on the table when we went in 2008, 2009, but to try to come up with any life experience that's, you're not going to go away for that amount of time and see all the places that we did without some crazy experiences. So I think they just wanted to open us up and kind of get us out of the local bubble a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that. Before we had too many commitments, I was 14 and my sister was 12. So doing that, it's like you have friends, but you can kind of leave for a while because you're getting into high school and things are probably going to change anyway.
Exactly.
And yeah, so I think it was a good time to do that. I really wanted to make sure that I could finish elementary school first because I had a good thing going. So I thought when I was 13, and then came back and just continued on with grade 9 when we came back. So it was pretty crazy, but yeah, hell of a learning experience.
Yeah, I bet.
So
How many countries did you go to?
on that trip, it was a total of 32 throughout the course of the year. Yeah. Now we did count the Vatican as one.
Yeah.
Technically it is.
Yeah.
And Monaco is also in there. And then the trip was basically divided into kind of two halves of like Southeast Asia and Africa and all that kind of like main land mass. And then we counted Europe as kind of the second half in terms of like quantity of countries. We spent 3 months in Europe at the end of the trip, and the bigger chunk was spent throughout, like Asia and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty crazy because my sister and I had not been out of the country before this trip.
It's a hell of an introduction.
Hadn't been to Mexico, hadn't been to, any beach vacation or anything like that. So hadn't been on an airplane. And it was like, okay, my parents had been talking to us pretty much since the time we could understand language. They're like, well, we're going to go on this big trip and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So we knew what we were in for. at least in our brains, but like how that's actually going to pan out and work is a total gamble, essentially. So it was good, but we did well on the planes. It was all good. We hit up Cook Islands was our first stop, so like
Cool.
a week-long beach vacation.
Yeah.
And break us in easy and not to do anything too strenuous or difficult or culture shock or anything. And then from there we went to New Zealand, it's essentially like Canada, just arguably more beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And way more sheep. There's like, I can't remember the exact number, but it's something like twice or 7 times, something like that, the amount of sheep as there
Yeah.
are people.
Yeah.
Well, like, correct me
So
if
it's
I'm
funny.
wrong, though, is that, like, from what I can kind of gather, is like down south, like, New Zealand is kind of like the Canada, and Australia is kind of like the America.
Oh,
I guess somewhat. I mean, I'd say Australia is a lot closer to Britain, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I haven't actually been to Australia, but I could probably see that.
Yeah.
Like it feels, at least from what you see of like the kind of California to Australia, there's like, similar culture, at least in terms of like the kind of surfing, beach,
Yeah.
really kind of a relaxed lifestyle. At least it's perceived to be that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the kind of personality types are a little bit different from each, but yeah. Have you been to Australia or New
No,
Zealand or?
I've never left the
Seems to
country.
be okay. Yeah,
I've
there you
never,
go.
I've never left the prairie provinces.
Fair enough. There you
My
go.
family never traveled anywhere. We
Yeah.
farm.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, yeah, like I mean, up until that point, my family, we'd been out to BC a couple times because we've got lots of family out there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Dallas
But,
has never been
um,
to BC.
No, definitely. Don't ask me where I've been for half my life.
See, and I don't think I knew that. So you're from BC then?
Yeah.
He's from
Okay.
Vancouver.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I was born here, but I moved to Vancouver. I was like 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then when did you come back?
Around 2022, I want to say.
Oh, super fresh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, nice. Oh, I didn't realize that. What was Vancouver happening like for parents' work, or what was the reason to be out there?
Yeah, my mom went to film school down there and brought me
Okay.
along, and basically we just stayed there for like 10 years, and I spent my entire teenage years there, and it was great. It was a blast.
Being an extra in films.
Being
and
an extra in
TV.
films, yeah, it was
Oh, cool.
fun.
Oh yeah, that's
Good
great.
time.
Man, yeah, to get into that and to get into art, like were you in music or at least interested in music throughout those years? Like
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a great
yeah.
spot to be for.
Interested in what? I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
If we had beers, we'd be
music.
drinking
Oh, I
right
can't
now.
even get the word out. It's oh boy. Boy, it's easy to slip up, eh?
Yeah, all right.
Well, I mean, there's some pretty basic questions that we gotta ask you too. Like, where's the favorite place you went on there?
Yeah. I guess there's 3 favorites. Japan is definitely up there. Vietnam is another easy one. And then I say India as well, but not while I was there.
Okay.
As soon as I left and had the ability to kind of like decompress and look back on all the kind of the crazy culture and everything that was India, I could appreciate a lot more. And it's definitely one of my favorite places, but it's exhausting to be there.
My sister was just in India for a Girl Guides thing.
Okay.
She has like kept in with the Girl Guides stuff
Yeah.
even well after she aged out of it. And yeah,
Yep.
she went to a conference in India like a couple months back. She said basically the same thing. She
Yeah.
hated it while she was there. And
Yeah,
then when she
it's-
left, it was looking back, it was a great experience.
It's a very rich culture. Like I would say the word, it's very beautiful, just genuinely. Like it's so just culturally rich, and everything that was a tradition like thousands of years ago is still so pertinent in everything that they do, from the music to the like dancing and the holidays and just the like
Yeah.
everything that they do. But for somebody to come from here where it's like a pretty controlled and maybe, for lack of a better term, sort of a boring day-to-day life. Like you can usually just walk down the street and like there's not going to be a cow on the street, but there is there, right?
Yeah. Speak
I
for
guess
yourself. I
depending
grew
on
up
where
rural.
Yeah. Well, sure, yeah, exactly. So I guess it depends where you come from, but for me and many other people, it's just like, oh, that's a crazy thing to have like cars and tuk-tuks and people walking, and then cows and road construction that's never going to be finished. But then it's also like people are just dancing and having to get like it's so crazy, you know?
Huh.
It's just so extreme poverty and wealth and culture and like just it's just so much all the time. So yeah, it's really cool to look back on. Like the photos are amazing, the places, the history, all that. But it's definitely it's exhausting to be there.
Is there anywhere you've ever gone back to since that?
Have I gone back anywhere? I don't think so. Actually, no. I haven't done a lot of traveling since. Like I've been a few other places since this big trip. My wife and I went to Mexico with her family a handful of years ago. That was the first time being to Mexico.
And then you honeymooned in Portugal, didn't you?
We did that as well. Yeah, that was our recent trip in September. We went to Portugal on a honeymoon. And that was great, but that wasn't part of the earlier trip in Europe. We actually skipped over Portugal, so I get to add one to the list now, which is great. And then in 20, let's go with maybe 14, I went to Israel with some friends and kind of a family group. It was kind of like a pilgrimage type of journey, very religious focused.
Right.
But yeah, it was really nice to kind of get out and see that culture and place too. That was an amazing trip. Whether or not you're particularly religious, I think that's a really cool trip to do.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
To go and see all the kind of sites and hear the stories of, you know, what happened. And just, again, to see the history there of, like,
100%.
thousands of years old is just amazing. So,
yeah.
Yeah. And then I feel like I'm missing something, but that's kind of it. Yeah. I'm not usually much of a travel guy. I get in the vehicle and drive to shows all the time.
Yeah.
But surprise guest. But yeah, not really too much overseas since then. But I'd love to do it. My wife Lindy and I have a plan to. We're hopefully going to make it to Australia this next New Year's to go visit my best man that actually made it here for our wedding in September. He's living in Australia now and has been for the last few years. So hopefully we'll get out to see him and maybe hit up like Bali or New Zealand or a few places around there in that same trip. But we'll see. Still kind of in the planning phase.
Yeah.
That's kind of the next thing on the list. But
nice.
I've kept it close to home the last 10, 15 years generally.
Yeah.
So, but it's good. But
and what was
favorite place, I'd say that.
What was the last place that you've been to, particularly with your...
The last place, well, it would have been Portugal, outside. But of that big trip, it was the last place on that trip was England.
Okay.
Just for a little bit. My parents had some friends in England, so we got to kind of hang out with them. They had like a countryside little acreage just outside of Canterbury. So we got to see the like rural British. They have a little smart car you drive around on the cobblestone roads and stuff. It's nice. so nice. The typical kind of like quaint movie scene, like just so nice. And then just a couple days in London because that's where we flew home from.
Thank Christ Ollie isn't here. This would have been like a 1 hour of the segment right here. He would have been like, why were you in England? What did you do in England? Did you have the cheese?
Yeah. You know what? It was such a short time in England. I honestly, like, I don't even know if I have too much to report. I'd love to spend more time there. Got to, walk around London a little bit and go to some museums and stuff, but it was pretty focused. I'd say the Cliffs of Dover was the coolest thing to see in person. That was a day trip from Canterbury. But
it's the coolest song too.
Yes. I was super excited for that reason because just before going on the trip, or maybe around that time, it was like not Garage Band, like Rock Band or Guitar Hero, whichever one came first.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero, I think, had that song on there, and you'd always play with your friends and whatever. So I was like, oh, we got to go to the Cliffs of Dover. And I still don't know the song in guitar.
No.
What is a guitar? I don't know. Actually.
Yeah, it was a guitar. Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't want to say what's like the worst place that was on the trip, but like, is there anywhere that you
also
experienced
India.
that you like? Is there anywhere that like you definitely wouldn't want to go back?
I don't think anywhere that I wouldn't want to go back. It just kind of depends on the situation. But yeah, I ended up in the hospital in India because they're like it's totally different bacteria and their kind of hygiene practices, let's say, are a lot different. So as somebody who's used to here or anywhere, like, you go somewhere different. Like if they were to come here, it's different for them too, obviously. Like it's just so however that works. But yeah, I ended up in the hospital for a couple days, which is not so bad. It was funny because being in the hospital sucks, but I got to look out the window and see monkeys playing on the balcony outside. So that was my sort of in-room entertainment. And I did also have a little personal TV. I could watch the Bollywood videos and movies and all that kind of stuff. So that was great.
What's a dish that you had that you would literally travel? You would go all the way back to that country just to have that dish again.
I immediately think of butter chicken.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I love that so much.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if we actually had butter chicken in India.
Interesting.
I think
had it in
we
England as a
avoided
takeaway.
meat. What's that?
Had it in England as a takeaway.
Yeah, well, I think the best East Indian food we had was in Vietnam.
Okay, interesting.
Somehow, I don't know. It was like a super authentic South Indian restaurant in Vietnam that was so amazing. But we tried to avoid eating lots of meat in India, either because they don't have it or just, again, you got to kind of be careful what you eat when it's a different place like that. So
yeah,
just, better safe than sorry. So went to McDonald's a couple times for a chicken burger. But it's funny because even, going to McDonald's there, it's you can't get a regular cheeseburger because they don't have beef on the menu,
Yeah.
I'm always endlessly fascinated by the different menus of world McDonald's.
Yeah. Also, it's better everywhere else.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Japan was the first time I ever had cheese on a burger in my life ever. I had a double cheeseburger from McDonald's in Hiroshima, and it was fantastic. And it wasn't falling off. It looked like the picture, and it was great, and it was beautiful, and it tasted so good. And the grease was inside where it should be.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
That's wicked.
Well, surprisingly, the worst McDonald's, the country with the worst McDonald's is actually in the U.S.
Yeah.
Because it's so greasy and not the best ingredients because they
telling
don't.
me the U.S. doesn't have amazing health standards for their fast food restaurants? Shocker.
Yeah. I feel like the mom and pop shops in the U.S. is probably the way to do it. They just,
probably, yeah.
the small town things, or going to the big centers, and because you have to be so much more competitive.
Yeah.
So your standards have to be high and excellent and awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have. Man, there's so many food dishes from the United States that I'd love to have to go there and do the Guy Fieri thing, where you just go and have a chili cheese steak, but a real good actual one, and yeah, any of that kind of stuff. But I don't even know where I'm going with that. Anyway, yeah, it's funny. Things can be so
a
different.
spin-off podcast. Dallas and Simon are rolling out looking for the world's best McDonald's.
Yeah, that's right. I'm still such a sucker for McDonald's. Oh, it's sad. I don't know. I don't do it often, but I'm a sucker for the double cheese.
What do you say, Dallas? Is it time to move on to some of our regular scheduled programming?
Sure. I had a question.
Oh, go for it.
him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, because as I always end up forgetting, part of this podcast is trying to educate Dallas a little bit. He hasn't had much in the way of extra formal education other than his audio stuff. So, yeah, Dallas, do you have any questions for our expert on traveling here, Mr. Simon Jasieniuk?
So Hulk Hogan once said that one year he worked 366 days a year because of his traveling to Japan would reset his I guess the
Crossing
time
the date line.
crossing
Yes.
the date line all the time. So do you think that's a valid thing to happen?
100%. So he would have crossed the date line the opposite direction that we did, because September 1st of 2008 was not. I didn't experience that day. September 1st, 2008 was non-existent for me. So we, rather than gaining a day, completely skipped and lost a day. Obviously, you make the time back up as you come back around.
Interesting.
Unless I'm a day behind. How are we having this conversation?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we crossed the date line. Yeah, the opposite direction is that, and lost a day. It's weird. I can't imagine. That's the way to get maximum efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
All these business guys, instead of trying to cram multiple days into the a
Just
day.
go
You
back
know,
across
that
the
guy
date
that,
line.
well, my first day starts from 6 a.m. to noon. My second day is from noon to 6 p.m. and I'm gonna kick your butt. You know? What you got to do is travel throughout the course of a year, all the way around the world, to gain one actual real day.
That's how Taylor Swift's doing it.
Yeah, and look at her success.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key to her success is she flies a
That's
lot.
got to be it. That's
For a
okay.
half second there, I genuinely thought Simon was about to have the greatest answer for where were you on 9/11.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. I wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
No, none of that.
That day didn't exist to
It
me.
didn't exist to me. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Well, Simon, you've listened to this pod before, but we've got different segments, some different segments, and some different questions to ask you. And you're the first
Totally.
one that gets to experience the new stuff
Holy
as
smokes.
the debut episode.
We're
of
all
the
excited
year.
I love
here.
it.
Everyone's
Hit me.
going to hear the news.
Well, the
stuff.
first one is going to be one of our classics, very near and dear to Ollie's heart. We could never cut this one, which is Who Dis. So your Who Dis, and in this segment, as Ollie always usually explains, I'm not asking you to know who this person is. I expect you won't. Tell me who you think this person is.
Oh yeah.
Your Who Dis for this episode is Stephen Adolf Magnaca.
Oh well, he is. Oh jeez. He is a planetary physicist
Okay.
and descendant. No. Pre-relative. What's the word? Help me out here. What's
Precursor?
a pre-relative? Precursor, but for humans,
Yeah.
of the German dictator.
So Stephen Adolf Magnaca was
Yeah.
the mayor of Brandon, Manitoba in the 1960s. And when
I wasn't that far off. Planetary physicist from the 1600s.
very close.
That's crazy. Manitoba guy.
Yep.
Good for him. And
Dallas,
is this
you
somebody
wanna-
that Ollie knows? Or is this a random
somebody
person?
I'm from the area of Brandon, Manitoba, so I know Stephen Magnaca, like who he was.
Okay.
He was a pretty big mayor for Brandon, so
There you go. We love Brandon.
we do love Brandon. You love Brandon.
I actually do like Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly because they have an Applebee's still.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
They do have an Applebee's there still, and a really good coffee shop.
Yes, Forbidden Flavors Coffee in Brandon. If you're ever in Brandon, Manitoba, you got to check out Forbidden
Hidden
Flavors
flavors.
Coffee.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Dallas, you want to introduce our next segment?
Yeah, so this is our new one, I believe. It's called
very new.
Brushed with Fame. So I guess we asked our guest here their most boring celebrity story.
Yeah.
Most boring
So what we're
celebrity
looking for
story.
here isn't like, oh, I bumped into
Oh, yeah.
Brad Pitt and had a nice chat with him. It's
Yep.
things like I was getting on a bus and I saw such and such.
I have exactly that. So grade 12, I was in New York for the band trip. I played upright. Oh, no, we don't talk about music. Never mind. In New York,
For
grade
sure.
12, walking down the sidewalk. I'm with one group of friends behind another group of friends. And I say, hey, I'm done being with this group of friends. I want to walk up to that other group. But there's a decent amount of distance. So if I'm speed walking, it'll take me maybe 30 seconds to go from this group to that group.
Yeah.
In the time that I'm on my own with nobody around me, I get cut off by a guy in a big fur coat getting out of a taxi, going into what looks like a super expensive hotel. But of course, it's New York, so there's like construction and tarps
Yeah.
and scaffolding and everything. So it's like, and there's just like people around, but it's like, it seemed like everything happened in slow-mo. There might as well have been doves come out of the taxi type of thing. or limo. Let's call it a limo. He got out of a limo.
And he said, down the hall and to
And
the left.
cut me off and goes into a hotel. And this all happened in the matter of like 5 seconds, as it always does. And anyway, it was Macklemore. And I love Macklemore. And it was just like such a fast little thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't even like click right off the bat. But I can't remember what made it all come together. But it was like something about he was in New York. And I saw like some pic. Anyway, it was like, yeah, it was 100% him. So it was such a funny, weird little thing. But I'm like, that was boring and sad.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, that's the bar. The bar has been set.
Yeah.
Future guests, you are now challenged to beat that. That's perfect. Our template for that segment is the fact that when my sister was still at University of Regina, she was working out in the gym one day, and she was on a treadmill, and she was looking out the window, and she saw the A&W guy just walk by. They were doing some segments on campus.
Oh, amazing.
And she's like, I think I saw the A&W.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a good one for sure.
Our next segment here, another new one. We don't have a name for it yet, but Simon, what is your most useless piece of expertise? What is something you consider yourself a real master of, but it's so specific that it doesn't really matter to any other context? This could be like, I'm really good at making toast kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that is so crazy. Okay, start the clock. 10, 9.
We're gonna get a clock sound effect. Can you put that on there?
I can. Yeah.
Sweet, let's do that. Get the Jeopardy thing. Oh, we'll get sued for that. Play 5 seconds of the Jeopardy thing
Make
over
my
and
head
over.
spin around while I'm thinking. Useless. Like, it's got to be something to do with audio. Because I don't know that much about other things that doesn't help anything else. Man, yeah, I don't even know. It's got to be some obscure thing with audio. I don't know.
Nobody
We'll leave it there.
Nobody switches a compressor from hard to soft knee like Simon Jasieniuk.
Well, yeah. Yeah, like that's exactly the thing. It's like, you know what it does, but who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Sing better, you know? Like, hit in the middle of the drum. It doesn't matter. That's a good one. Yep.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
And now we come to an absolute fan favorite. This is Are You Smarter Than Dallas Outsider? And for this season, we are using, thanks to Will Wallace for getting me this from Valley Village, the Trivial Pursuit Masters Edition, or the Genius Edition, I think it's maybe called.
So it's
Yeah.
even harder.
So we used to go first to 5, but we may end up this season doing first to 1. We'll see how
Fair.
hard these are. I haven't actually looked at these at all yet. But name of the game is our guest gets to go first. If our guest passes or answers wrong, then we move over to Mr. Dallas Outsider over here.
Okay.
And we see how it goes.
Yep.
All right, so what thoroughfare runs 150 miles from New York City to Albany?
Oh. Not a trivia guy. Thoroughfare. Yep. Got it.
What's a thoroughfare again?
Thoroughfare would be like basically like a street.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like what street runs 150 miles from New York City to Albany?
Highway 219.
It is not Highway 219. Dallas, what would you think?
I have no idea.
Oh man, I think I know what it is. I just don't know the name of it. I'm gonna guess.
That's the same thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's like that native, or not native, but like it was like the first street that was built in New York, basically. The one that's kind of like diagonal. I'm gonna like it's basically. I think it's connected to Times Square. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know what the name of it is.
I'm gonna trust you here. If I give you the answer and you say that's what you were thinking of, I'll trust you.
Okay.
It's Broadway.
Oh.
Maybe I can't confirm if
No, I
that's true or
hesitated.
not.
Oh, I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah, Broadway runs 150 miles from New York
Okay.
to Albany.
Cool.
Okay.
That's okay. I'll take
What?
I'll take the L from there.
What Asian country was the third to have a satellite in orbit? So they were the third country to have a satellite in orbit, and they're an Asian country.
I see. I want to say Korea, but I also want to say China, but I don't know. I'm going to go with Korea.
It is not Korea, Dallas.
China.
No, it is Japan.
Oh.
Good for
I
them,
guess
you
they
know?
are, yeah, pretty technologically advanced.
So we're
those
still
guys.
0-0 here. We'll see if anybody can break the deadlock with this.
Oh, no.
What British monarch is buried with her prince at the Royal Mausoleum, Frogmore?
I feel like Ollie would know this one.
I think probably would.
Not Diana. I don't know.
That's not the right
Wait,
answer.
where are they? Where are they buried? You said
They are buried with their prince at
their prince.
They're a British monarch buried with their
monarch.
prince at the Royal Mausoleum, Frogmore.
What year is this made in?
I don't know. It doesn't matter for this question.
Okay.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that, but
Elizabeth I.
no.
Victoria.
It's Queen Victoria.
Oh my god! Yo!
I don't think she's ever had a lead before. Okay, it's 1-0 for Dallas Outsider.
Crazy.
I don't know what to do.
is bizarre.
I'm getting some info in my ear here. We're going to cut to commercial.
Yeah.
Here's one that, no, you know what? I won't go with that one because it's way too specific and no one will get that. What Yukon town is, as if this is any better, what Yukon town is home to Diamond Tooth Gertie's gambling hall?
Yukon.
Yukon town.
Like our Yukon?
What other Yukon? What does
don't
that
know.
mean? Our Yukon?
There might be another Yukon out there, just like how there's another like Paris.
Well, we haven't discovered much of the depths of the sea. Wow.
I'm not. Man, those high school. I was gonna say geography classes really would come in handy right now. I got nothing.
Yukon
Pass.
is
He passed.
Yukon is like the middle territory, right?
No.
No, it's the left side. It's the left
Yeah.
side. I think that's where they have yellow. I think that's where Yellowknife is. So I'm gonna say Yellowknife.
Dawson City.
Oh, okay.
Dawson City, Yukon. Okay.
I might be
and-
wrong on the Yellowknife thing too.
All right. This could tie it up here. What is the first number to the right
One.
of the to the decimal point in pi? But Dallas jumped the gun.
Wait, what? Was that actually right?
Oh, I thought you were just being a dick.
No, I was
No,
guessing.
the question was what is the first integer after the decimal point in pi? And it's 1.
Oh my god! I was just kidding. Too.
And
Dallas
technical
wins.
foul. That's a technical foul.
I mean, I kind of like the. I kind of like the time. Who says it first? I like that though. That's exciting.
So much for Genius Edition. What's the first number?
Fine. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna give a tiebreaker question here
Alright.
because of that. What New Brunswick city boasts Canada's steepest street?
Oh.
New Brunswick City.
Oh, that's wrong. Trivial Pursuit is wrong. Oh wait, maybe it's a different city actually. I shouldn't say that.
The one with the thing, the street sign.
What is the
know.
gesture you're doing right now?
It's the slanted road. It's for the this way. Ah,
Clip that.
don't clip that. It's the steep road.
Canceled.
God damn. I'm not coming back.
No, you're definitely not now.
I don't know. I don't know anything about New Brunswick. I haven't. Yeah.
All right, we got to pass.
What
Pass.
city?
Yeah, what city has the steepest street in Canada, and it's in New Brunswick?
In New Brunswick. I'm trying to remember what city is in New Brunswick.
And I don't know if it's a.
I know St. John's is in Newfoundland. That's the only city I know on that end, so I'm just gonna say St. John's.
St. John's.
What?
I don't know if
St.
it's
John's Street,
St. John's City.
or it's in the city. Oh,
So I
see.
don't know. I don't know if
All
that's
right.
a typo on Trivial Pursuit's part, or if there's another city called that in New Brunswick. But he got it.
What
Wild.
the fuck?
He wins 3 times. There we go.
Wow.
Well,
Buried alive by
never-
Dallas.
to say I am
I don't
not
think I've ever
smarter than
gotten
Dallas.
3-0.
Good for you, man.
It's quite a reversal from the Aaron Ball episode
That's
where you
great.
got
This was
buried.
quite the disaster for me between some arguable
So there
slanty
you have
street
it, folks.
signs to losing three of three.
There you have it. You are not.
You're not smarter than Dallas
This did not go well.
Insert bwah, bwah.
Yeah.
We'll move on now to our quick fire questions. So we've got 10 quick fire questions here for you. And by quick fire, we just mean these are just simple, nice, easy questions for you. So we usually go with asking people what their favorite of such and such actor's movie is, but we've decided to make a bit of a twist on that this season. So Simon, what is the best and the worst Nicolas Cage film?
Ghost Rider.
For both?
Best and worst.
That's
Yeah.
great.
You know
like
what?
that.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's the question. Which single movie is the best and worst?
Okay, questions change now. That's the template now.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. I love that.
To separate it, National Treasure, I'd say is maybe the best that I know of.
That's a good choice.
I feel like there's maybe a couple. City of Angels pretty good too.
Yeah.
But the worst
Ghost Rider 2.
is yeah.
No kidding.
There's one that it's probably something like Ghost Rider. I don't know. Something like that. I feel like I just saw a clip of it that reminded me how bad it was. Or the one with like Time. What's that one? Where he
Next.
Yeah, next.
Next, where you can see into the future. Yeah.
That's you could probably look at that one both. That's maybe an equal same best and worst at the same time.
Solid. If you could put a CSI series in any city, what city would it be?
No one's picked Saskatoon yet, so you can be the first to claim it.
Nobody's picked anything yet.
Lisbon, Portugal.
Lisbon, Portugal.
Because there's so many hills. You could just push somebody down and it'd be
Most of the episode is just them hiking to the crime scene.
That's right. And Horatio, he's in that, right?
Yeah.
He's like, takes his glasses off. He's like, I'm too tired to solve this. I'm too tired. Yeah. You made it to the top of the hill. Yeah.
That's awesome. What is the best ice cream flavor?
Cookies and cream.
That's solid. That's a solid choice.
Any country that you've been to that had the best cookies and cream flavor?
Portugal.
Okay.
Nice. Dallas, does cookies and cream? You're the resident foodie here. Does that
like
track?
Cookies and cream is pretty good. I do like that one.
Excellent. That's the
Or actually-
resident foodie, Dallas Outsider.
There you go. I was in Toronto this summer, and I went to an ice cream shop there that had very good ice cream. I can't remember the name of it, but it's there, and people probably know what it is.
I went to a Blades game with Adam Johnson a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And in between periods, we were having a discussion about ice cream, and I was telling him I think Tiger is an ice cream that like you have to stop eating after the age of like 10.
I would
And
agree.
as we're in line for like concessions, he gets ice cream, and they he got like cookies and cream or something, and then just got a scoop of Tiger on top of that just to piss me off.
As he should.
Planes, trains, or automobiles?
That's the question?
That's the question. Actually, it's a pretty pertinent question for today's topic that you brought.
Trains.
Yeah.
Interesting. What's the best like train route you've ever been on?
Definitely something in Japan, taking the Shinkansen train.
Yeah.
It goes like, I can't remember if I think it's kilometers, 300 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
That's
And
they're
it's
great.
fast.
just the smoothest. It's beautiful and amazing.
Well, aren't they like technically not touching the track?
Yeah, it's like a lot of them work on magnets.
Yeah.
So you're like just floating the whole time. It's great. It's
Wicked.
like, so wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is the best pop?
Or soda to our American listeners.
Yeah, Ollie
soda.
wrote this question.
I'm a ginger ale guy.
Okay. Yeah, I dig it.
With or without booze works equally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. If I had to pick one, ginger ale for sure.
I thought you were gonna say bubbly.
Is that a pop?
No, it's canned air.
It's kind of carbonated with like a wink of flavor, but I wouldn't consider that pop.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not sugary.
What's your thoughts on the cranberry ginger ale? Do you like that one?
Oh,
I think that one's my favorite ginger
I haven't
ale.
tried it, but I would be into it.
Yeah. I say that one's my favorite
I
ginger
can
ale.
see that working. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Simon, what is something that feels illegal but isn't?
Feels illegal.
But isn't.
I I got excited like I had something locked and loaded, ready to go, and I definitely don't.
Oh, it's the you know
It's the thing that we do that I do all the time. That feels illegal. It isn't. Like, I don't know, marijuana now, I guess.
Okay, you know what? Fair enough, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the laws well enough, but that one's like feels kind of silly.
Yeah. I'll give it to you. What is your favorite card in a deck of cards?
Probably a jack. Because it's silly and exciting and fun, and it's not eccentric like a queen or king.
It's just doing its own thing.
But it's a rad face card, yeah.
Nice.
Any specific jack? One eye or two eye?
Ooh, two eye.
Two eye.
Because they're wild in sequence.
This guy. What is your favorite small town that you've ever been to?
You've probably been to a lot of small towns.
I've been to a lot of small towns. Keeping it close to home would probably be... I actually don't know if I have an answer. There's so many good ones. I immediately think of there's a town called Takayama in Japan that is absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. So
Nice.
I'm going there. That's just, I can't seem to get away from that one.
Oh, hell yeah,
That
man.
already
That's great.
sounds like an amazing
Good answer.
town.
What is the best tool? Interpret that however you like. If you want to say Dallas, that's fine.
The best tool. Oh, I'm already thinking way too hard about this. Probably I think a tape measure. If you get a good tape
that's a
measure.
good one.
I love tape measures, yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Good for distance. You can also use it to level things if you measure one corner to the roof and one corner to the roof.
Yeah.
And you can use it as a hammer if you get a good solid one. Pound in, you know?
Can you use it to mention just how much shorter the two of you are than everyone else?
That's right. Yep. That's something that I'm very good at, is being more down to earth.
It's like Tom Cruise.
Yeah. There you
Ooh,
go.
that's a good segment.
And
Who's
Bruno
taller,
Mars.
Tom Cruise or Simon Johnson?
Yeah. I think we're pretty close, actually. Yeah.
And then finally, out of the quickfire questions, aliens? Question mark.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Well, thank you for going with our quickfire questions. We're moving on to a new segment. It's a segment I kind of started at the end of last season with Keisha, Dallas's cousin from Chesterfield. It's called "Do You Want This?" Today's "Do You Want This?" is this bag of marshmallows from last summer,
yeah, brother.
that are hard as rock.
Oh, I said it too early.
Do you want this?
Oh, no. No.
Excellent. That was "Do You Want This?"
Did I win?
You could have won.
Tune in next week to see if you want.
Tune in on the Patreon to
Could have
find
won
out.
the marshmallows, but you
You
said
could have
no.
won the marshmallows.
Yeah, I guess I didn't win.
And then our next new segment here is called "Does It British?" So this is one where our esteemed co-host and best buddy Ollie sends us a Britishism to see what you think of it, and to quiz you on if you know what it is and what you think it might be. So this week's "Does It British?" is tactical chunder. What is a tactical chunder?
That sounds like when you've had too much to drink and you puke so that you feel better to keep drinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is a tactical chunder.
Yep.
Well done. Fantastic. Moving on, we have another crowd pleaser, an absolute favorite definitely a favorite of mine and Ollie's and Dallas's, I believe. This is more for us than you, I think. It's called
I love it.
It's called Who Said It?
Yep.
So in this, I'm going to give you 2 tweets, and you are going to have to tell me who
couple of
tweeted
X's.
this, Dallas or the person that I am telling you the tweet for. My phone updated, and now it's... Oh, there it is. Okay. So your first tweet. Who said it? Dallas Outsider or Shaquille O'Neal? The 50 Cent of the NBA will make his last response when he wakes up from his nap. Then I'm done with it. It is what it is, was it is. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Hashtag mixtape coming soon.
That's wild either way. I can't believe that either person would ever do that. I feel like that's a Dallas thing.
That is Shaquille O'Neal in the
Really?
flesh, in the Twitter flesh.
All right.
Maybe if I could hear it is like,
Mixtape coming soon.
Yeah, if you say
I'd be like,
what
oh
the,
yeah,
like,
okay.
You need the lazy eye.
That's wild. And he's a doctor. Okay.
And then the second one here is who said it, Dallas Outsider or Shaq? Chocolate milk is just regular milk to a guy like me.
Oh man, I could see it both ways. I feel like I'm gonna go. Oh,
Chocolate milk
Shaq.
is just regular milk.
I'm gonna change my options. I equally don't know, but I'm gonna go with Shaq this round.
What
was-
strategy is he employing here, Dallas, by
you-
changing his answer?
Well, you're either way, you're wrong on that as well. So
I'm just
it was
dodging
me.
the right
it was me.
answers.
It was Dallas Outsider, ladies
That's
and
fair.
gentlemen.
I forgot I tweeted that.
When was that said? That's significant.
That's a good question. I didn't.
You tweeted that about 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Well. All right.
That is fairly recent. I think it was before you changed your profile picture to be. Tell Simon what you did.
I changed my profile picture because it was me for the longest time, but I decided to change it up a little bit.
And who is it now?
It's Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit.
and what is your name on Twitter now?
Frederick Durst.
Perfect. If it makes you happy.
Moving on, we have another new segment called Gun to Your Head. So in this, we're going to give you a scenario, and you're going to have to tell us, gun to your head, which one of us would you rather have with you in this scenario? So Simon, out of the two of us, who would you trust more to back you into a parking spot?
I'm gonna go with Alex.
Do you want to give any reason?
I feel like Dallas would pull some funny shit just to be funny, and it wouldn't. It would result in me not being able to get my my driver's side door open or something like that. It would get me into the parking spot, but at my own expense.
Yeah, he wouldn't totally let you down, but there would be ulterior motives.
That's
that
right. That's
something
right.
would go wrong.
That's right. And I feel like for Alex, you would make sure that you wouldn't pull a fast one, but I also probably wouldn't be the straightest, you know? It'd be like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Nailed it, honestly.
Just, we're good. Let's go.
Yeah, it's getting late,
You won't get a
man.
ticket, but
You won't get a ticket. You might have trouble getting out of here later, but I
yeah.
won't be here later.
Yeah, wouldn't
so
recommend, but you're okay.
I'm walking home, so you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And finally, here our final segment here is the Secret Time Redux. So last season we were doing Secret Time where we'd give you 4 secrets with a fake out. Well, one of them would be a fake out, and you'd have to assign them to each of the guests. We've simplified it this time. So we're going to give you one secret, and you have to figure out of me, Dallas, and Ollie, whose fact is this.
Okay, yeah.
So which of the Anything Else co-hosts
Yep.
is the most educated formally?
I think Ollie. I'm going to go with Ollie.
Correct answer?
You sure you guys say that in front of someone who beat you at Genius Edition of Trivial
Yeah.
Pursuit?
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Well, it's actually me, believe it or not.
Is that right?
It is. So
Okay.
Ollie has the equivalent of a high school diploma, and he has a bachelor of, I guess it's just a BA, but he did film or whatever.
Yeah.
You've got high school and Reyes.
Yes.
Yep.
I've got high school, Reyes, a BA, and a master's as of a month or two ago.
Oh, crazy.
So,
Good
yeah.
for you. What's the master's in?
History.
Okay.
And Stephen Adolf Magnaco was somebody I studied as part of my master's degree. I got
it
nervous
all
at the
makes
beginning
sense
because I
now.
was like, oh, I don't want to give that away for later. Well, Simon, it's been really great to have you on, man. And so at the end here, we're going to remove the no music thing, and you can talk about whatever you want. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Oh. What do I want to plug? Well, recently, a music video for a song called Something I'd Like by Caitlin Lehner just came out. I got to co-write the song and produce the song, and I'm in the video shredding some guitar
It's a fun-ass video.
with main man Adam Beidle and Jordan Perry. My wife got to help out a lot with the planning of that video. My good friend Harrison King shot and directed and
I
did
know
all
Harrison
the
King,
production.
yeah.
Yeah, Harrison's great. And my cousin Michael got to help out with getting us into the airplane hangar that it was shot at. So it was a lot of, kind of big team effort. But go check out Something I'd Like on YouTube. Other than that, listen to Matt Johnner's song Wonder Woman and go to the Winnipeg radio station and vote for it. He's up to number 4.
Which station?
Like Now Country, I think. Like the big Winnipeg station. It's doing great.
Nice.
Let me find it. Give me 2 seconds. I'll
Hey, no
find
worries,
it.
man.
He just posted about it. We got to get him some streams. Winnipeg. Now Country
Yeah.
1047.
I thought that's what it was, but yeah.
He's number 4.
No way. That's wicked. Good for him.
Plug in that. He's got some songs coming up. Keep an eye on Matt Johnner.
Lovely bloke.
That's probably it for now. As soon as I leave, I'm going to remember some other things. That's
I
always
think
how it
we'd be
goes,
remiss if we didn't once again mention Beez Neez recording.
Oh, yeah, sure. Beez Neez recording.
If you need a song done or if you need a myriad of other services as well.
Absolutely. I'm getting more into live video capture. Check out Sask One Mic recording. That is Matt Facka, Kyle Kryza, and myself. It's like a throwback video series where we record one take, no edits, of audio and video up on YouTube. We've done, 60 or 80 videos now. That's always a good time. Sask One Mic. Let's go with that.
Awesome.
That's
well, I
great.
no longer have an annoying anti-segment to end the show with, so there will be no Is This Your Card? But thank you for being on the Anything Else podcast, Simon. Apologies to Adam Beidel. We ran out of time.
And thank you to The Gather for having us.
Thank you to Gather for having us. It's going to be great being here. Subscribe to the Patreon once we get it up. Follow us on Instagram on the Anything Else podcast so you can keep up with when the Patreon's going to start and other news and other segments and stuff that we're going to have.
And if you're watching the video on Outsider Radio, be sure to leave a like and subscribe.
Yeah, go to Outsider Radio for the video. Leave some likes, comments, subscribes, especially comments, mostly about Dallas's stupid face or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
See you later.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Bye.
See ya.